Hey everybody, this is Todd Liles here, and this is my new podcast. You're probably familiar with Chris and Chris. They're changing the name from Service Contract Radio Show to Windshield Time, but this isn't that. This is Todd Talks. I don't know if we're going to call it that, Toby.
Okay.
I'll introduce you guys to Toby. He's my guest today. We might call it Ignite the Power Within. I don't know. We'll come up with a good name by the time you listen to this. But I know the concept. All right, so here's the concept. The concept is to interview someone that I like so that I can have a good time with, but the purpose of the interview is to talk about how they have had radical transformation either in their life or their business. So that's the whole concept, is where were you and where are you now? And then where are you going? So we might even call the daggum thing radically transforming because it's part of our core values. But I am here with Toby Tippets, and I want Toby to introduce himself. And you know what? I'm just assuming everybody knows who I am. They'll figure it out in time. But you first, Toby. Toby, say hello to the audience and let them know who you are and what you do every day. And tell them a little bit about your company.
My name's Toby. Obviously, I have a company in Sacramento, California. It's Big Mountain Heating and Air. We do windows, solar, HVAC, and a few other things, insulation and a few other odd things. We started about 7 years ago or so, and we were about half of our business was heating and air conditioning, and about half of it was other products, windows, doors, solar, things like that. And we've grown that from about, our heating and air conditioning side from about $2.5 million to about, we're just under $7 million this year, and that's happened in just the last few years.
So on the HVAC side?
Yeah, on the HVAC side, and that's just the HVAC portion of our business. So.
Got it. Thank you. So that's kind of a highlight. We're going to come back to that in a moment. And for those of you that may not know who I am, I'm Todd Liles. I've been in the trades now officially, professionally, since 2001. 20 years this year, Toby.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy when I say it out loud. I'm like, wow, 20 years. I remember when I was the young gun. I'm not the young gun anymore.
You don't even look old enough to be in it that long.
No? I appreciate that, brother. That's professionally. That's like when I graduated college and said, okay, I got a business card with my name on it from an air conditioning company, but I've been slinging hammers a lot longer than that. So anywho, that's me in a nutshell, and I own this company called Service Excellence. So part of what inspired this whole thing is that we figured out we needed to transform. We redid the brand. If you guys are watching this, you can see the new logo behind us. And it just made me go, you know what, these are the stories that people find fun. So let's rewind. I don't know the year, but I remember you being in the classroom. I remember you being in the classroom, remember visiting with you. I think you might have had a couple guys there with you at the time. I think I remember one. But what I also remember, if my memory serves correctly, is you had a business partner there too, who at the time may have been the majority owner, and you guys were discussing about how you eventually could become the complete owner. And we didn't pre-plan all this before we got together, no. So I'm going from memory, but my memory, is it pretty close?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Give us some details.
It was about 5 years ago. I had been in the window business, and I had done a little bit of heating and air conditioning, and I got out of that business. I went down to LA for a little bit, and I just hated it down there, so I came back. And when I did, Varen and I have been friends for a long time, and he had this company that he had been working with and building with his son, and his son just decided, you know what, I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I don't want anything to do with owning a business, and so Varen took the company, and he had been going with it for a couple of years. And so he was looking for somebody to help him grow it, and I came in, and he asked me to come in. I looked at it, and we get along so well, we decided let's give it a go, and I would eventually become the full owner.
Well, now I'm just being nosy. What did the son end up going to do?
I think gold mining.
Really? For real?
I think so, yeah.
Did he go to Alaska or something?
No, just Northern California. Got into the mining trade, opened a store, and there's a group of people there that like to mine and
it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
kind of like
cool.
Would that be considered boutique at this point, or does it still have the same potential like the gold mines?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so at all.
I'm just trying to figure out how all that works.
I think he wanted away from all the stress.
This business can be extremely stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that you're bald. Did you have hair before you started?
I had more hair than I do now, but not much.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of jump into that. So for me, I think there's a few stories of transformation here. One is you becoming the full-time owner.
Yes.
And what that looks like and where you're at in that process. And then the other is, when I met you, was it 3 or 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. What was the total in revenue, all items combined, 4 years ago?
All items combined.
All items combined.
Right, just barely over $5 million.
Just barely over $5 million. But how much of that was other items other than HVAC? How much of that was the windows and the solar?
So it was about $2 million HVAC, and the rest was a mixture of windows, doors, and solar.
Okay. So about $3 million in other areas, and we just finished up 2020. What are we just HVAC now?
6.8.
6.8. So you had a $4.8 million growth in just one division, and that was on purpose. You intentionally have been trying to weed off the other divisions, right?
Yes.
So talk about the transitions. That if we're like doing the math on that, I don't have my phone on me, but 20% on 2 million is 240, and then or it's 400,000. Pardon me. So that'd be 2.4 million. You've surpassed 20% growth year over year is what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
And I know you've had ups and downs. I know you've had one guy who's got great potential, but we know him, we both like him, but we also know he comes and he goes. So you've had some transitional things that have happened. For you, how has that growth changed you the most? Like if you look back in your area of your life and say, hey, over these last 4 years, I'm radically different in this area of my life now, or the business is radically different now. So how's that affected you?
I both have tremendously changed me. The business also, and myself personally. There's so much to learn in this industry that I didn't, even when I got into it, I just didn't know.
Right.
And I was kind of in the position originally that, I wanted to grow with all these products and all these things. And what I found is that in trying to build it, I was just substituting HVAC work for other products. And so I knew that, and really to grow the business and grow a continuing customer base, I really had to focus on the HVAC. But I didn't have the background and the skills of 20 years like yourself, Todd. So I was kind of in a position like, what do I do? And so, that's when I got involved with you guys. And I saw one of your Facebook videos, and I happen to know Terry Barrett.
Yeah.
I had met Terry Barrett previously,
He's a good
and so
dude.
yeah,
Love
he
Terry.
is. Yeah. So Terry had actually convinced me to come to one of the original management classes, and we came over to that, and I was looking for someone that could really help me understand how to run an HVAC company. The training was difficult, the technicians were difficult, and I just needed a lot of help with learning that part of the business. And so I felt like this is way over my head. I don't have the experience for this. And in working with you guys on the business side, and especially Chris, I mean, I just can't even tell you how much it's helped me in my business. I understand how the business works. I've been able to tune my training processes and use the programs to develop technicians on a regular basis and really control and decide how I want my business to go and where I want it to go.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so that's been a great transformation for the business. And for me personally, we all know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Less stress, more comfortable. And I have a much better home work-life balance now because I've been able to grow that business and have good people that can help me do that work.
Yeah.
So freedom, I would say.
Freedom?
Yes.
I love to hear that. I didn't know you were going to say that, but that's really cool. And I think people are always looking for an accumulation of two things, which is resources. Most of the time those resources are going to be quantified by money, or they're looking for an accumulation of time. And in our type of business, to have extra time is freedom.
Yeah.
It's okay, we got some freedom here. Okay, so I'm gonna drill down a little bit. Let's talk about stress. I don't know that much about your personal life. As a matter of fact, I would say I think maybe one of the only things I know about your personal life, and this may not even be accurate, is that I think that you have a pretty strong faith with your spiritual life.
Yeah.
But so that's about the extent of it. I don't know how long you've been married. I don't know much about your kids. I don't know about your stresses in life. So talk a little bit about that personal change related to how that's affect the home life.
Well, coming out of the previous business before I got involved with Big Mountain Heating and Air, I was a very successful business. I had lots of great people and lots of time on my hands. And being in the window business is not a necessity. And as the economy did what it did, it really fell apart. And I hung on to things way too long. And I got really stressed financially with my family. I have 5 kids. The oldest is 29 and my youngest is 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we had to move around a little bit. And
when you say move around, did you mean like you literally had to leave where you were living?
Yes, yeah.
Where were you living? Where did you end up going?
I was in Auburn, and I actually had moved down to LA to live with my brother-in-law and their family for a while.
Oh, wow.
During that time, home performance was starting to take off, and I thought that would be an avenue that I could get into and make some money. And so I really struggled with, honestly, just supporting the family in general.
Holy smokes, man. Now this is, I didn't know these things, but to me that's like, holy smokes. You went from living with your brother-in-law, having a business, living with your brother, that went away, now living with your brother-in-law, to now, how many years, jumping forward to where you're at now, how many years of separation has it been since you've been with your brother-in-law?
It's been 6 years.
Oh, holy, so it's not even been that long.
No.
Oh, did you ever have one of those conversations when your wife was like, did we make another mistake?
You mean with the new business?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, are you sure you know what you want to go through this again? And I've been out applying for other jobs, and I kind of thought maybe I should just go get a job. I can't do it. It's just not the way I'm wired. And so, but as a younger guy, the stress didn't bother me. As a matter of fact, I felt like I thrived on it, and I loved it, and I still do. But as I get a little older, I think that stress takes a little more toll on me.
It does.
You know?
You get it. Maybe every now and then you feel a little tightness right here.
Yeah, right in the chest area.
I'm not having a heart attack, but I'm not happy.
Yeah. So, I mean, as I've been able to get established in that, that has really calmed down, and I've been able to take that freedom. Some people do own businesses for all kinds of reasons, money, whatever. For me, it is the freedom, and I love that part of it. I get to do the things that I want to do when I want to do them.
Do you think you could ever go back to work and not be an entrepreneur?
Can't do it.
Yeah.
I opened my first business when I was 26, and I've been working forever for myself. I'm 48 years old now, and I just couldn't I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know that I could anymore either. God, I'm trying to think here. I left Clockwork, which is where I really cut my teeth in the kind of the consulting world, and I was only a 15% partner in a heating and air conditioning business. And then when that partnership dissolved, I had a chance to go back to Clockwork, and unofficially, because nothing was ever in writing until I agreed to sign some sort of NDA or whatnot, which I wasn't going to do until I saw an official offer. But unofficially, kind of the world was opened back up to me, and I was sitting in that room. And it was so funny. I basically said, I think I'm going to go try my hand in the marketplace. Because sitting in there thinking about being an employee again, and look, there's so much freedom in being an employee. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. And for those of you that are listening that know that, you know what that means.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was an entrepreneur. I needed to try it. And that was pretty damn scary. But yeah, I don't know. I think I could go work for someone, but I think they'd have to be a pretty big vision person. Like I've thought about that before, like, hey, who do I work for? And in my brain it's like, oh man, I might work for Elon. But then I think, I don't know, I don't think that guy sleeps.
He probably doesn't.
They say he sleeps most of the time on the couch in his office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know that's not for me.
No.
Okay, so you've had some big transformational moments, and let me make sure this thing is still recording. Yeah, it went to sleep, it's still recording. So you've had some really big transformational moments, and that's wild. In just 6 years, that's pretty amazing indeed. Let me ask some real basic questions that some of these guys might be thinking, like, oh yeah, $2 million to $6 million. But is it worth it? Is it financially worth it, Toby?
Yes. Yes, it is, and I have to say it's not easy. Mm-hmm. There's lots of days when you're driving to work where you get to the office and you like to just keep on driving. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in business I've had to adopt my own theory. My theory is this: you only fail when you give up. Yeah, and I just refuse to give up. And so I plug away at those things that I learned from you guys, from Chris, and the other areas of experience that I work with these guys a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just learn and I don't give up. And you slowly start focusing on certain areas and it will work out.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the future hold? Like, where do you see the company moving to in, say, like the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 5 years, revenue-wise, I'll talk about it revenue-wise. Sure. I would say somewhere between $12 and $14 million, somewhere in there is what I foresee, mm-hmm. and not just kind of staying there. Mm-hmm. I think I would have a good, well-rounded staff with great managers where everybody can live a good work-life balance and still produce enough money to support everyone and their families. And I'm not out to be $100 million company or anything like that, but yeah. I believe it's very doable.
So in your mind, if I were to understand it, you have a vision that once you get to a certain place, life is what you want from financial rewards, from balance, and obviously you're in California, it's more expensive to live there. Yeah. But for your business, not counting inflation, that's somewhere around $11 to $12 million mark.
Yes.
That's awesome that you know that. That's really good that you know that, because I think sometimes people are really unhappy in business because they don't really know what that number is. And I think there's a lot of justification to, once you get to that number, you have to grow constantly for inflation so that you're really maintaining it. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that are chasing, what they see on social media. It's like Ken Goodrich, great example. This guy's he's a high level output guy. But the vast majority of everyone that's in the trades aren't going to have his connections, his experience, his financial backing. And if you're thinking, I got to do $100 million to be successful, I think most people are going to be really unhappy as business owners.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you know what that number is.
It's not even the number, right? It's what I want out of life.
Yes.
On the personal side.
There you go.
And the business provides that.
Right. That's good. And that's a lesson I have to tell myself all the time as well. It really is. I really don't need anything more. But I want to grow because I want to grow. I got goals I got to get to.
That entrepreneurial spirit.
That entrepreneurial spirit, exactly. So, yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, man, there was something else I was going to ask you. You had said something that kind of triggered something, and I've pulled my senior moment, and I guess I can't recall it. Oh, I do remember. You were talking about being here for 4 years, and I'd ask you, what's the next 3 to 5 year goal? One of the reasons why I asked that is, I'll tell you about us. For those of you that are looking, we've got all of these guiding principles behind us. And one of them is overwhelming diligence, and another one over here is radically transforming, and then we've got prioritizing people. We've got others as well. But Toby, I'll tell you something was happening to us. It seems like we would go into every January prior to this one, and we'd have client losses. It was so frustrating. So we decided, hey, we're going to fix that. We're going to make a radical transformation in client losses. And we did. We have made a dramatic transformation, especially through COVID. We've just been focusing on clients. And we have still lost clients in January, but right now, as I'm thinking about our client list, and I can't say all their names because a lot of these acquisitions are not yet public, but I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 of the last 6 clients that are no longer clients, it's not because they weren't successful. It's actually because they got those opportunities to walk through the acquisition process. And so that's something that we have seen. And we said, hey, what's the radical transformation that we're seeing? If we really think about our company, about 4 years ago when you joined, I would say about 4 or 5 years ago was when we started really getting serious as a consulting firm. And so it's not just going to be me consulting and Terry in the classroom. We hired Chris Elmore, we had Chris Loudermilk, and we've grown to 10 now. So now we're seeing something different. We're seeing these companies that have been with us for a couple of years have grown into maturity. And what has come out of the process, and I didn't even see it coming, is that we're growing companies within acquisitions to about 5 years now. And I was just curious if acquisition was on your mind. That's a long way to get there, to say, I was wondering what your acquisition plan looks like, or if you've thought about that.
For other companies?
No, for you, like when that day comes and it's time for you to be purchased, because it will happen.
Yeah.
You get over that $10 million mark in your area, and there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to want to purchase you, I'm sure.
12 million and 15% net profit before taxes.
Yep.
That's my number.
Yep.
And then I want to entertain that.
And then you're going to entertain it. Good.
Yep.
All right. Well, we look forward to helping you get there, and we know we will. So remember this now. Before you sign the sell your business agreement, do an extended contract with us.
All right. I'll lock you guys in.
Yeah, lock us in. Lock us in.
They'd be crazy if they didn't.
Well, private equity sometimes thinks they've got all the answers.
Oh, boy, do they.
It's like, hey, hello, wait a minute. Look at their last 3 years. They didn't grow before. Anyway, I don't want to give us too much credit. Well, dude, I didn't know all that. That's wild. That's awesome. And I'm probably like missing a million good questions that I should ask that I'm not even thinking about. But, really I feel great about this interview, and I want to get this out there for people to listen to. And we'll settle on a final name, but you're still number one.
Okay. As long as I'm number one.
You are number one. You are number one. Absolutely. You will be number one on the Todd Talk. Whatever the name ends up being. I think it might end up, I kind of like our slogan, Ignite the Power.
I like it.
We might just call it Ignite Your Power. How about that? Ignite Your Power.
Ignite your power.
Yeah, so I thought about maybe radically transforming, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Toby, thank you so much.